That was a bit like walking down the aisle, but last time I did that, it didn't end well, so that's what I was thinking then. So hopefully it goes a bit better this time. So Bore Da, I am Marie Daly. So everybody has moments in their career that you always remember. And mine was on the 4th of June 2018. So I was working up at Manchester Metrolink and I attended the launch of Transport for Wales. And the speech that was given by Carwyn Jones that day was one that changed my career path, but also changed my family path. So I was advising the mobilisation team on the implementation of the new contract for Keolis Amy, and they had been saying to me, oh, maybe you'll move. And I was like, no, if I'm going to move from Manchester, city I love, born and bred, then it'll probably be somewhere like Dubai, not South Wales. But in that moment, listening to Carwyn talk about the investment in Wales, and in particular this project, the South Wales Metro, and it's linked to social value, in that moment, I was like, this is not just transport. Sorry, that's a bit of an M&S line, but it is something a lot more. So, and then from there, I decided that I was going to relocate myself and my two girls to South Wales, and since then I've been on the journey. So I just wanted to share sort of the story of the South Wales Metro a bit with you today. Definitely talking about the sexy topic of electrification, but maybe widen it out a little bit wider in terms of what that's meant to what we're delivering today within South Wales. So before I kick off, there's a video. Everybody loves that this technology is now not going to work. I know it's not. But I told there's a backup plan if it doesn't. So
South Wales has a proud industrial legacy and history of innovation. Its railways originally built to transport the black gold from the valleys to the docks of Newport, Cardiff, Barry and Swansea. South Wales coal fuelled the Industrial Revolution. In the early 1900s, it produced 1/3 of global coal exports. By 1913, production reached a staggering 36 million tonnes. In 1921, over 250,000 people were working in the pits. People from around the world moved into the valleys for work, creating the bustling towns and villages we see today. As time moved on, railways that once carried coal moved more and more people, becoming a vital link between valleys communities, Cardiff and beyond. Decades of underinvestment left the network struggling to meet modern demand. In 2011, a groundbreaking report envisaged a modern, interconnected transport system that would unlock the economic potential of the valleys. It's called the South Wales Metro. In 2015, the Welsh Government officially launched the South Wales Metro project and secured extra funds from the European Regional Development Fund. In 2018, Transport for Wales, a not-for-profit organisation owned by the Welsh Government, was created to deliver this exciting new vision for transport in South Wales. In 2020, TfW took ownership of the railway lines between Cardiff and Merthyr Tydfil, Aberdare, Treherbert, Rumney and Cardiff Bay. This was a landmark moment, giving TfW full responsibility for maintaining and transforming the railway to prepare for the Metro. In August 2020, major work began on the railway between Cardiff and Pontypridd, Merthyr Tydfil, Aberdare and Treherbert. New track was laid, signalling was upgraded, new station platforms were built and the lines were prepared for electrification. Despite the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic, significant progress was made whilst minimising disruption for passengers. The Taftswell Depot is the nerve centre of the South Wales Metro, a £100 million facility built on a 5-hectare site that's similar to the size of Carnarvon Castle. It's built on the site of Forge Masters, a major employer which was at the heart of the village of Taftswell for decades. Its integrated control centre manages all traffic, signalling and operations across the metro network. The depot is home to 36 tram trains, which will operate on the Merthyr, Aberdare and Treherbert lines. It's an important part of the community, providing jobs for 450 people. At the heart of the South Wales Metro project is the electrification of the railway, allowing the introduction of new electric trains and tram trains. Over 4,000 steel masts and 13,000 steel arms have been installed to electrify 170 kilometres of track. If you stacked every steel mast on top of each other, it would be 478 times the height of the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. As part of an £800 million investment from the Welsh Government, Transport for Wales is delivering 148 brand new trains across Wales and the borders, with air conditioning, charging points and new customer information screens. On the South Wales Metro, we've introduced trains that can run on electric and battery power, which is better for the environment. Next year, we'll bring electric tram trains into service, capable of running on both the railway and on street level. Alongside electrifying the network, we're busy making our railway stations easier for everyone to access. There'll be level boarding from train to platform and step-free access at 15 stations. Platforms have also been extended to fit our new longer trains. To improve access over the railway, we've built 4 new footbridges with lifts and 11 new ramped footbridges. A brand new station is being built on the Cardiff Bay line at Butetown. This will make it easier for the community to get to Cardiff city centre and beyond. Cycle storage, waiting shelters, improved lighting, CCTV and customer information screens have also been renewed to give customers a better experience. Pay-as-you-go travel has been introduced across the whole of the Metro network, offering a faster, affordable and more convenient way to travel. This is the first tap-in, tap-out system used on a rail network outside of London. While building the South Wales Metro and carrying out huge infrastructure changes to electrify the railway, TfW seized the opportunity to install a full fibre network. In November 2024, TfW launched Fibre, enabling companies to provide high-speed connectivity to Valley's communities. In total, 200 kilometres of fibre optic cabling will be installed. To put that into perspective, that's 40 times the length of the Prince of Wales Bridge, which connects Wales and England. The journey doesn't stop there. Over the next 18 months, the Rumney and Cardiff Bay lines will be electrified, followed by the introduction of the brand new tram trains. This is part of the Welsh Government's £800 million investment to deliver new trains for all parts of Wales. Once complete, the South Wales Metro will connect communities, reduce journey times and provide a greener way to travel. This is more than just a transport project. It's a legacy that will benefit the people of South Wales for generations to come.
Do you know when you love your job, that you could watch that over and over again and think, well, I love that, but I'm not sure that I've got much more to add. I could have just played that for you today and add a lie in. But I will try and pull out some things that will be of particular interest to the audience. So this has been about communities and adding social value. So I think that's really important for this project because we are looking at track and train. That's the fundamental to what needs to be in place for us to deliver this. But the envisioned 1 billion in transformation, 170 kilometres of upgraded rail and new signalling, and particularly a brand new control centre in Taff's Well. And that was an important part for us in terms of how we brought Taff's Well to life in the local community of Wales, a site that had previously had a manufacturing company, Forge Masters, on there with around 400 colleagues employed. And actually, pretty much like for like, the colleagues that we will bring in to work in Taff's Well will be around 400. And that recruitment started back in 2018, and that was very much focused on local recruitment. And that's paid dividends for us now as we started to operate the South Wales Metro in its early stages, is because those people are as passionate about making sure this works for their communities that they serve as they are for their customers as well. So 36 state-of-the-art trains with aircon, charging points and customer information screens, all part of a much wider £800 million investment in our fleet. One of the funny stories that you may have heard, I don't know if it's that funny, but is when one of our new trains pulled up to Caerphilly, customers stood back and they didn't think the train was for them. So that's probably one of our really proudest moments, is that actually, yes, this investment is for you and it is for the people of Wales and borders. Most importantly, I think an ambition of the whole transport industry is how do we get equity in offering accessible travel. So that's meant that we've had 41 platforms alterations for level boarding, 4 new access for all bridges and 2 brand new stations. So there is more we can do to ensure that we are meeting the needs of everyone, provided equity within this customer base. Got to change the slide. Okay. So South Wales Metro is connecting communities in ways that matter. So millions of pounds of investment people need to see that translated into what that investment means to them at a very local level. For communities, it means actually investing in their local community, knowing that you're going to see more customers, more tourism. It is for connecting people to healthcare and education, and that more reliable service will hopefully connect more people to jobs, which I've said is at the heart of this project around social value. So we're looking at running services at the tops of the valleys at every 15 minutes. That's really important for our turn up and go proposition. But you will see at parts of the network where headway's at 6 minutes. That's the game changer. That's the turn up and go that people can trust. There is a huge piece of behavioural change work we've had to do to support this, because customers are used to interacting with the CVL network as quite a traditional rail network. And what we'll be asking them to do is to connect differently. So forgetting that timetable, trusting those headways and those services, and using it more as you would see a traditional tram network at somewhere like Manchester or even the Tube. So we want to see as many passengers on there as possible and being utilised for what a real turn up and go service is meant to do. That behaviour change research has paid dividends for us in terms of looking at how we create our customer plans and what are the barriers, which are much wider than this project, for people using a network. Making sure the investment in stations that we've been doing is looking at that whole customer journey, that mile outside, not only connecting it to integrated transport, but making sure that we're thinking of it through the lens, something that I'm quite passionate about, looking it through the lens of all parts of society. So what makes people feel safe to be able to use our network? How do we make it convenient? How do we make it frictionless? So that work is building our propositions today and will do into the future. So the video talked about pay-as-you-go, but we are really proud of pay-as-you-go because this is offering customers a capped weekly and monthly costs, cheaper than we're doing today, more efficient use, and we are the first operator outside of London and the South East to introduce this system. So I think that's a real proud moment for the South Wales Metro as well. So we're sharing this slide because I think it's important. It builds on what some of our talked about today. So why do we do these projects? Why have we got this massive investment? Why are we using all the big brains that we needed to use to really transform the infrastructure to be able to deliver the services we want to deliver? Well, it is all about our customers, and it is all about understanding actually how this will deliver for those customers. So there's two parts. The first part I just wanted to share was around actually when you start these projects, for me, particularly in transport, it's equally important when you're thinking about all the number of diggers that you'll need, all the length of track that you'll need, is how is this going to impact your customers and how are you going to keep them on board with you as you go through this journey. So we had to do a blockade that took customers from using a service that they were used to, they love, they connect to their jobs, to then using rail replacement. How did we keep them on board? I'm seeing some people pull their faces then, so you were probably some of those people who had to get that rail replacement. So, you know, it was about how do we build trust. It's easy for me to hear and say, this is the vision, this is what you'll have at the end. But actually, during that time, we needed to keep customers with us and communities with us as we disrupted those. So these projects, it is really important for delivering on the future growth promises that you are understanding the impact to customers and communities, and you're building a strong enough plan as you are to deliver the changes to your infrastructure. So in terms of the customers, we are seeing an increase in passenger journeys of around £2 million across the Core Valleys line. £2 million. That would definitely not provide the subsidy we need. That about 2 million customers, and we're seeing that grow and go from strength to strength. But we want to be really ambitious here. We want to see customer growth go way beyond 4-5 million. To do that, we've got to deliver something people can trust in, and we've got to make sure that they, you know, will feel from an integrated perspective, from a point-to-point journey perspective, that we're understanding their needs, using that behaviour change, but also making sure that our network and the investment in the network is about making it easy for them to travel from an integrated way, because that is the only way, for me, that you get people out of their car and deciding this is the right option for them. So in terms of, some of you may have seen the customer segmentation model before. There's different ways to break that down. But one of the things we have, we're talking about the social value. Past Pontypridd, you would see a high percentage of what are called distressed families. So normal younger families, about 62% will own their own homes. They will, but the rest will be in rented properties. They will be higher unemployment in that sector. There will be higher childcare needs. So what we're looking to do is develop our propositions to that audience to really see that growth, but not just see that growth, because we are about revenue to reinvest. It is not revenue to add to our bottom line, and that's really, really important as a not-for-profit organisation that we like to be really say as a social value. That is, the more we can bring onto our network, the more we can reinvest in our Wales for our customers and our communities. So there's been lots of work to do to understand those customers and to build plans and support and look at our propositions to support that. So vision to reality. So where are we today? So phase 1 is nearly complete. You will see the 756, assuming that you know, one of our trains, now one of our new trains operating across our network. The approach to discontinuous electrification is a smart move, and I'll come on to that shortly. Looking ahead, the Rimini and Cardiff Bay lines will be electrified over the next 18 months and will further enhance the network's efficiency and sustainability. The installation of 4,000 steel masts and 13,000 steel arms is a testament to the scale of this project. It really brings it to life. I've talked about the new trains, and we will see more new trains come onto the network in the next month as we see more of our 756 trains come onto the Corriton and Penarth line, and we'll see our 398 tram trains introduced next year. So what we have been doing is finding out that train and track are not plug and play. So we have had some issues, as you would expect, but we have created a real predict and prevent mindset. So we've been able to be ahead of the game with some of those things. And I will not speak to an audience that you probably know way more about beacons than I do. But, that was one of the first issues we came about in terms of working as that system, as as we've talked about before, needing that system to work together to be able to deliver the South Wales Metro. So we've all worked with legends, so I'm going to call out one for me. So Dan Tipper is our Chief Infrastructure Officer, and the passion and commitment and the belief that he's got for this project, I think, talks that underpins these key projects. You need to have people to make this happen. So, and Dan has been at the heart of that. So innovation. So I will just talk to you about. So one of the real success stories is how we approached electrification. By using smart, discontinuous system, we avoided costly, disruptive civil works. Smart OLE is enabled by the use of innovative new rolling stock, so bi- and tri-mode vehicles that can utilise diesel or battery through short, pairs, non-wired sections. The installation of new signalling system utilising trap beacons, which notify the driver to lower or heighten the pantograph, has also enabled this new system. This has meant no need for 37 track lowerers or 8 bridge jacks, resulting in a 37% cost saving and roughly a 50% carbon reduction. That's innovation with real-world impact. Nothing we are using is being used for the first time, but using it all together over the length of journeys is something that is a first. The procurement process allowed for various design proposals, including conventional heavy rail and light rail solutions. The chosen hybrid approach was selected because the geography and topography, it was selected because despite being innovative, it was used proven components. Additionally, the geography and topography of the valley lines required numerous costly interventions, such as lifting bridges, which would disrupt communities and workplaces. The hybrid solution was most feasible and cost-effective option, minimising disruptions. So costs, let's get to the money. Like most rail projects, we've encountered things that people didn't expect to encounter. We took ownership of the core valleys 5 days into the COVID pandemic. It feels like a lifetime ago. We were having conversations around how we were going to build the metro with people staying 1.5 metres or 3 metres apart, and how we were going to keep the project going so that it didn't layer some cost in the first instances. We were working with Stadler as our partner, an international company, so that brought it challenges during COVID, but people kept worked really, really hard to keep the project going, and it's testament to them that we've got the solution today. We achieved around 200 to 300 million savings over what we would have done if we'd done it conventionally. I think that's important with normal electrification. So I think the team can be really, really proud of what they've done. And we sit relatively well compared to other rail projects in terms of how much over budget we've gone. But obviously, we're doing everything and still doing everything to make sure that we keep the budget down. So some of the other bits that were touched off in the video, but this is just nobody would have seen this at the start of the project, so this is why great minds like yourself in the room looking for opportunities during these projects is really important. So when we were laying tracks, we seized the moment, why not lay digital foundations? We installed 200 kilometres of fibre optic cable, 4 times the length of the Channel Tunnel. That's what led to fibre, a bold step towards high-speed connectivity for Valley's communities. A future Wales could be proud of, and that's for sure we can be. The Metro is part of a vision for integrated transport. As we talked to the bus franchising in 2020, that 5 minutes then put me off, thank you for it though. In 2026, how do we really put the customer at the heart of this? A customer-centric solution for that point-to-point proposition is something that we're working on, and the South Wales Metro gives us the opportunity to do that by understanding our customer needs, understanding how that transport network works as one. Next stop, North Wales. So Metro is a go. Hopefully some of you will have seen in the news that at our TFW Summit last month, I think it was, we launched the plans for North Wales Metro, and that has been built on the foundations of what we've delivered in South Wales. So knowing now that we've got a proof point that we can take that across the rest of Wales, it has been the real energiser for that project, using the skills and those skills we talked about today that have been built in Wales to move to North Wales to deliver that. Okay, I'm going to be on time. The Metro is more than the sum of its parts. It's electrification, innovation, digital transformation, all worked into a network that serves people. This is what it means to reimagine transport for our new Wales. Now, for me to get on with my day job and operate this great network and deliver on the promise we've made to our customers, Diolch.